This is a sober living, so technically there is no medical provided. I interview each and every person that comes through. I try to get as much background from the individual himself, as much background from any family member or significant other, so I can get a full picture. Because everybody is completely unique and different. So the more I know about them coming in, the more I can kind of anticipate mood changes, certain behaviors, certain attitudes. I would like to have explanations as to what they might be up against inside themselves. So I don't. In sober living, what we wanted to come up with was kind of a step-down version, not from treatment, but from a recovery house, which means there are certain criteria that must be met, perhaps meeting requirements, testing requirements, cleaning up after yourself, attending house meetings, attending 12-step meetings in the house, being civil, being cordial, being decent, being accountable. And that was new at the time. We provide the environment of understanding first, of compassionate, of encouragement. You know, we can see some pitfalls perhaps that the individual does not know they are about to step in. Or they may be thinking they're doing all they can when really they're doing the same thing they've done before, only they don't have the inebriated behavior that went with it. Through the years, we learned a lot about how to meet the individual where they are, because we know how serious this disease is. We've lost too many people to death. Regular people, good people, young people, old people, either by their own hand or perhaps there was an unfortunate accident that because an individual was inebriated, they harmed somebody else. There's the chance that they may die out there. Most of the deaths that we have incurred here, and they are numerous, none on the property, but we hear. 5% of the 800 people that have gone through here in 17 years have died of overdose. In the recovery methodology and the clientele themselves. 10 years ago, if you walked on this facility, the average age of this co-ed facility was 32 years old. The average stay was 10 to 14 months. They made it their home. They were very serious about that recovery. They shared, they lived a more transparent life when they were here. They participated more. They had more to lose. They felt that the timer on their party days, if you will, was up, and they needed to take life more seriously before they were out of time. Today, the average clientele, up until 6 months ago when I changed, my average clientele was 22 years old. They wanted to be out of here in a month. The parents were willing to, they were controlling their parents, and they were controlling what they were going to do and what rewards they were going to get for being here. Hence, I have to tell you the failure rate was about 98%. They did not stay sober. And as soon as they left, they did not stay sober. And there's a couple reasons for that. Number one is the cost of treatment has gone up exponentially. The amount that insurance will cover has gone down in an equal amount. So the parents get fed up and they don't know what to do with these kids and they can't deal with them anymore. So they put them in sober living. The problem with that is they're not ready to face the truth about themselves because they're living in delusion that there is no problem, that they will be rescued anyway, and this is all their parents can afford, and the parents are done parenting them. So what we have done is we decided to go male only, 25 years and up, and build a real community of camaraderie, brotherhood, like-minded individuals that can support each other, because gender-specific does have its advantages. Age groups, similar age groups, do have their advantages. And their life experience at that point, be they a father that has been expelled from home with a child there, professionals who could lose their career that they've been working for their whole lives. By the time these individuals come into this house, it's a much more serious event, and they take it more serious. It doesn't mean that you don't have your occasional relapse. which we don't toss somebody out for relapsing. We study each individual's past performance here, what happened, we bring it up to the rest of the men, and in 99.9% of the time, they're allowed to stay and continue. Well, first of all, I would advise any client that we have to concentrate on staying abstinence-free for the time being. Now, abstinence-free is not recovery. It's the price of admission. I will not have the ability to exert myself, to self-analyze, to invite another human being to sponsor me, to listen to me, to give me constructive feedback, because what that individual needs to do before anything else is make a commitment to his sobriety and prove to himself that he can stay sober. At that point, it might be time to approach your significant other and present not perhaps every single detail, because you don't want to harm innocent people, but tell them the truth about what you're struggling with, because they don't even know when they first come in. Every treatment center, be it Skid Row, the Mission, or the most expensive one you find, has the ability to help a certain type of individual. The reason we changed to male only is because I wanted a certain male of a certain age that had the ability to hear, to understand the seriousness of his illness, that perhaps has something to lose, so he's more invested in working hard. What I started to see in the nature of the business was that most sober livings would be a catch-all for anybody who could pay a bet. And they're very unprepared to hit a sober living because they're not really coming out of treatment anymore because they can't afford treatment. Remember, sober living would be a lower cost alternative to recovery. Many people realize they have a problem, go to Alcoholics Anonymous, live at home, and continue to work. The type of people we get realize they have a problem. Maybe they've been to treatment 2 or 3 times before, but not necessarily so. And when they come here, they know what they need to do. So when you're with like-minded people, like-minded individuals, you have a say in what's going on. And ultimately, either you're going to apply yourself or you're not, which is sober living. It's safe, supportive housing. Does not supply treatment, does not supply therapy, does not supply doctors, does not supply food. It supplies a caring, compassionate community of like-minded men. I have one other man with me. He's 20 years sober, so between the two of us, we have 52 years of recovery experience. We have 5 houses, a total of 15 men maximum. We have single rooms. 50% of our rooms are private rooms, and the other 50% are double occupancy. There's a lot of elbow room, there's a lot of space. The thing about working with human beings and emotion and the spirituality and mind and problems and issues that all human beings have is when you share yourself with another human being week after week, month after month, in some cases year after year, you know them very well, they know you very well, you've cried together, you've laughed together, you've reprimanded them, you've picked them up, you've apologized, you've accepted apologies. You don't necessarily see the results in that year or two. Sometimes you do. It's a blessing when you do. And if I can't see results, I make sure that I'm trying to plant seeds. And